Hey guys, it's Tripl-L, and now let's talk that new Shokugeki no Soma chapter 264, man. Oh man, that's so exciting. I'm not gonna lie guys, like this week, the chapter I was looking forward the most to was the Shokugeki no Soma chapter. Like the Hero Academia chapter, I didn't expect much from it, so it was a pleasant surprise. The One Piece chapter, consistent, I know what to expect, and we're not really in a critical part of the arc yet. But the Soma chapter was the one that was gonna be kind of like, well, this is gonna tell us what we're doing next, and my gosh, man, that was so good. Oh man, I'm so excited. Wow, 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 wow. You know, like in the grand scheme of things, like not really much happened. It was just mostly setup and introduction. But this is exciting. So before we even get into that, I have to take my my loss here, or my not even a loss, just my comeuppance or my beatdown. I'm doom and gloom compared to, I know, say Charles's anime world. Like I was more apprehensive about what was going to be happening with the rest of the manga, like the possibility that hey, maybe this is getting close to the end. But I just want to say, like, for this one, Charles, you win out this one. It looks like we still got a lot to do, and it looks like it is going into the world tour kind of thing, or like just the exploration kind of thing, or you know, going outside of the Totsuki borders. So I'm so excited for that. Oh, and speaking of other YouTubers, I also want to say I realized I got a surprising comment in one of the videos for Shokugeki no Soma. So if that particular person is watching the video, thank you very much for watching. That gave me such a nice surprise when I saw that comment. Anyway, continuing the hype train, oh, man, okay, this is cool. So, truthfully, the positions, the seats for the Elite 10, I don't really, it's not that big of a deal for me. It's cool to see that the positions are in flux. It's cool to see that our group has, they've gone into this second year because there was a 4-month time skip. I think this is one of the first time skips that we've gotten that's this substantial in Shokugeki no Soma. So that's a big deal in of itself. But yeah, we got the time skip and we've got the new positions. Like really, that does not interest me that much because like it's whatever. The only thing I'll really say for the whole position thing is I'm very happy that Soma acknowledged that he is not the best in the chapter, right? He acknowledged that he didn't beat Rindo, he acknowledged he didn't beat Tsukasa, he acknowledged that the superiority of the third years over him, and I think in some ways like he's acknowledged some amount of skill. Well, he's acknowledged that his position is not one that is fully earned in the current ecosystem. So I respect that, right? Look, I don't care if the author wants to give Soma the first seat. I do care if it makes sense logically. And the moment that, well, how would I say this? The moment that the author addresses it, or the moment that the story addresses it and gives a reason for why it's happening, I will automatically be okay with it by the virtue that the author at least gave it thought. So that one little that one little line from Soma meant so much to me on a technical point of view for the chapter. It meant so much for me for the whole like first seat thing. I'm so happy I got that line. I like it, right? On technical merits and on like story flow, I think great stuff. Love it. Awesome. I don't care if Soma's not strong enough to be the first seat. I do care that they acknowledged it. So that was the best surprise from the chapter when it came to that flashback. Moving on, we also got like the glimpses of the people going on with their lives. I don't particularly care about that too much either, other than Mikishima is in Paris because now he's like in direct competition with Shinomiya. So I'd be interested to see how things would go out there. But now it pretty much means that Shinomiya has been a constant guest in Shokugeki no Soma. So now Shinomiya can be tagged together with shit, I just said his name. Shinomiya can now be tagged together with former third seat, and then and they can make their reappearances together. Like I think that's what we could possibly get, but it depends on if we are gonna see Shinomiya have more guest roles. I do think that former third seat is worthy of, you know, coming back and giving Soma some tips. So cool stuff on that battleground. I'm very excited to see that. Now, moving through the chapter, I'm really just trying to get through as much so we can talk about like the future of Soma and all that kind of stuff. But we also find out about the administration, what Irina's doing. Overall, I like that we're given very surface level details. We really can't do much with those details at this present point in time, but we know that Irina's holding the fort down, and we can hopefully expect that her thing, her administration is going to be one of the bigger plot points for the Shokugeki no Soma future. So obviously everything she's doing, given where Soma's ending the chapter off, it matters. So at this point, I'm still wanting to see a little bit more fleshing out for the Irina stuff, but I think we're going to be going into Soma. The other thing to say for the chapter before we get into the final bit, Soma's created a new atmosphere in Totsuki where it's the Shokugeki is now in full force, and I like the whole idea, like this idea of dishonor, this idea of like, yeah, let's have fun having Shokugekis, let's have fun pretty much testing our skills against each other, sharpening ourselves against each other. The way that Soma says it, let's have fun in this wasteland. So that's very interesting, right? And we are given the narrative cue that, hey, Tsukasa noticed that, and he like came to a new realization when he hears Soma say that. And really, it all comes back down to that perspective on mental health. Like, Tsukasa's issue before this was that he wasn't being properly appreciated, that the people that were giving him compliments didn't fully understand the weight of the compliments, or like the weight of the words that they were saying, and like how those words were pretty much fallacious when he can see all the weaknesses. Like, the words did not match what he himself was seeing in his process. So like, that was Tsukasa's issue. It was an issue of other people don't recognize how much effort I put into this, and other people can't properly appreciate me. Whereas Soma's mentality is, man, screw other people, let's just have fun playing around. And so like, Soma's mentality is a bit more focused on the person. It's in psychology it's called internal locus, or it's a variation of internal locus. Pretty much that you're not letting outside factors ruin your life or rule your life, right? Soma's kinda, he's looking for the fun. And that fun, that desire is coming from in him, as opposed to Tsukasa wanting validation from external forces. So it's an interesting thing, but I don't think Tsukasa's plight, or Azami's plight by extension, are in any way discredited here, right? It's just an issue of what mentality wins out in the end. Like, this could have gone two ways. Azami's mentality is one that wants to shelter chefs, and in doing that ends up isolating them in really creepy ways, whereas Soma's mentality is one that will run the risk of things going wrong for the chefs, and will also kinda in a way stifle overall progress, because Azami is definitely way more streamlined, but Soma's way will work for people who are self-motivated. That's pretty much it. And people who can stand on their own 2 feet without having to be validated by other people. So it's still an interesting thing, but it's probably going to die down now. Moving on into the final bit. The chapter ends off with Soma and Megumi in that remote hot spring town. So this is the most exciting part, right? What's pretty much happened is that Soma and Megumi are now culinary hitmen for the Irina administration. How awesome is that? Freaking awesome, let me tell you. I am so excited for that. Guys, man, you know, you've heard it before, but I want dual monsters to bridge the gap and come into Shokugeki no Soma. If now Soma is going to be going after people, rebels to the Irina faction of Totsuki, I want to see Soma destroy them. I want to see Soma strip them out of their clothes, because if a zombie is going to go supernatural to the point that everyone's clothes are just flying everywhere, I want Soma to develop that ability. I don't know how they're going to do it. I don't care what. I don't care if there's going to be a giant dragon that manifests behind Soma during a hallucination when someone eats his food and then that dragon burns away the clothing. I don't care. I'm a simple guy. Heck, you could even have a rabbit show up and have it like be like, I don't know, Megumi's stand or something. I don't care. It would just be so cool. I mean, like, they opened the door. Okay, rant aside, excitement back down to like a controllable level. Soma and Megumi are hitmen for good old Irina. Now, I am concerned that this is going to turn into a comedy thing, that this is just Shokugeki no Soma doing a cliffhanger routine, and then the next chapter is not as exciting as this initially makes it sound. And in that case, you know, screw you, author. Like, come on, man. You just blew it. Well, you know, it'll probably still be okay, like, all things considered. I am curious as to who the invaders are, but I legitimately hope it's not going to be played for a full joke. It's cool if you want to have the comedy in there, but please just make it like, yeah, okay, I want to see what your invaders are. Like, give me something cool. Is it first years? Is it some like really upstart first year? Like, that's fine. Is it a bunch of old men who control the food black market? Yeah, that's pretty cool too. That'd be cool. Is it your dad who's just hanging out with your grandpa and they're at a hot spring and not helping out at the school? If that's the case, then no, that sucks. That they're not invaders. And hey, wait. If you're in like, they're in a hot spring town. What invaders? They're not even invading. You went to them. If anything, you're invading them. Okay, I'm gonna put that away. That's just semantics. Point is though, if we're gonna be having Soma and Megumi, they're gonna be a duo that goes around the whole world fixing culinary problems, and we get some kind of weird political intrigue revolving around food and arena administration. I'd be totally into that. That'd be so funny and ridiculous that it's just right up Soma's alley. It would be the best. So I'm hoping for that. I want to see what's going to happen. I want to see who the invaders are. Is it Aizen? I feel like he has enough reason. Is it Azami? Just be goofing around? I don't know. Is it someone else altogether? Maybe. But yeah, you guys let me know what you think about that. Who you think the invaders are. And finally, let's talk about a critical point. Because now we've finished an arc, and now we can really rip into the previous one. So, I mentioned it earlier with the cliffhanger thing. Shokugeki no Soma right now has a few elements that have not been addressed, and it's rather annoying. The two elements include Senzaemon and Azami's talk about the dual generation. That was largely skipped. And finally, the Rindo stuff. Rindo had story time devoted to being told, or like, she had story time that led the viewers to believe that there is something going on with Rindo. And where did that go in the previous arc? Nowhere. So, if Shokugeki no Soma just goes on with this, and we don't get answers to those 2 points, that's a weakness, that's sloppy, that's just there to drum up interest that's never going to be answered. At the current moment, that's a pretty big problem when you look at like just the technicality of Shokugeki no Soma as a series, right? The cliffhangers are a problem that all the Shonen Jump series have, but Shokugeki no Soma gets it a bit worse. Because Shokugeki no Soma has to do a lot more to keep people excited. So they have to do like, man, the dual generation cliffhanger is still one that I'm pretty bothered about. So, if we go 100 chapters and we don't get answers to either the Rindo anxiety plot point, or we don't get answers to the whole dual generation conversation, I'm marking that as just shitty writing. Because it's a waste of resources, it's a waste of detail, it's a waste of time. That's all it was. It's a waste of time. That said, we don't know how things are going to be shaking out for the rest of the story, so it's a bit premature to get really invested on that weakness right now. But I'll feel really validated if by 100 chapters we don't have those 2 things answered, and we continue getting the shitty cliffhanger strategy. Cliffhangers without any resolution. It sucks. It's not fun. I don't want that kind of thing. I don't think Shokugeki no Soma is going to make a habit of it, but it's one of those things we kind of have to watch out for and like call it out for when it happens. Anyway, that's the most critical point I have, and it's honestly a point that could just be easily alleviated in a future chapter. It's just a matter of you know, what's the, like, the Rindo one is also just one of like, what's the point of bringing this up if you're not gonna give us the answer? Is Rindo gonna be coming back in some form that it's gonna justify us finding out about her trauma or like her misgivings about Azami? is because then that means we have to expect that Rindo's going to be having severe character development in that event, which isn't bad for the Rindo fans. It's just you ended off with her in the Amazon, and it doesn't really feel that those two things are going to be really happening. But that's just an issue of how the author wants to shake out the future. Anyway, guys, I ramble a little bit longer than I thought I would, but hey, thanks for watching. Let's end it there. Till next time. Hope you have an absolutely great day. What a great chapter.